Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu 5, and it looks like in Texas, starting in September, we will legally be able to carry impact weapons. This is a pair of brass knuckles I have, and I also own a sap and a collapsing baton. And I think it's awesome that Texas is legalizing impact weapons. I think this has been long overdue. Um, and I think what spurred this on was the fact that Texas legalized the carrying of swords and Bowie knives, and they were like, you know what? Why can Johnny over here walk around with a Grossmesser or a Montante, a great sword, but he can't walk around with a collapsing baton, a sap, or brass knuckles? So, in case you didn't know, in Texas, up until this coming September, it was illegal to carry batons, dusters, saps, blackjacks, slingshots, and anything that can be used or modified to use as an impact weapon. Guns were more convenient to use as a self-defense tool than a impact weapon. Impact weapons were very much frowned upon, and it was pretty common to see older people carry a stick about, I can't fit it, about this long, and that would be their dog removal tool. If they were attacked by a dog, they would use that stick, and if anything else negative happened to them, they can use that stick. That was technically illegal. I don't think it was like a felony or anything, but it was very much illegal. It was just not really enforced. If a police officer were to walk up and say, "Hey, what are you doing with that stick?" and you said, "Oh, this is for in case of dogs or something," he could technically get you for that. But they legalized the carry of swords, so it's like, why can I carry a sword cane for self-defense, but not a baton or swords were more legally legitimate than walking sticks on the legal level. So, yes, they are legalizing impact weapons, which I think is awesome. By the way, if you want my opinion on brass knuckles, they're very nasty for cracking skulls, but that's about all they're good for. To me, although I believe these should be protected under the Second Amendment, I think they make terrible self-defense tools because you almost have to premeditate using them. You have to see a situation, then you have to dig it out of your pocket, fit it on your fist just right, and then you can use it. And it has no real defensive values. You can't really block with it, parry with it. It's good for cracking skulls, and that's pretty much all that's really good for. It does its job good, but it's very it's very specific in its use. Or it has a very it's just a specialty tool, I guess you can say. But I think they should be legal. I think slingshots should be legal. I think batons, walking sticks, nunchucks, I think they all should be protected under the Second Amendment. In fact, I had a conversation with the NRA today because the NRA has been calling me like every month trying to get me to rejoin, and usually they're almost kind of rude about it. Not like cursing me out or anything, but they won't let me speak, and they force you to hang up on them because they won't have a conversation with you. This time they let me speak, and I said, well, the reason I'm disappointed with the NRA is because they failed to help me during 2009's U.S. Customs knife ban. And I said, I called the NRA for help, and they said that wasn't their job, and that they didn't do that. And, my opinion is that the Second Amendment says nothing about firearms. There's nothing in the Second Amendment that says firearms. It says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, not the right to keep and bear firearms. So bayonets, tomahawks, they're all covered under the Second Amendment, not just guns. And that was my big problem with the NRA until they did the red flag law thing, which I'm also against. But I told her this, and she pretty much excused herself. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm really sorry about that. Well, hopefully, in the future, we can resolve this." I said, "All right, well, bye." Hung up on him. But it's funny because they call me from a different number every time. Like they'll call me from a Texas number, and then a Pennsylvania number, then a New York number, and then it's they try to trick you. I'm getting off subject. I digress. The good news is that the Second Amendment is being honored in Texas, and if I wanted to, in September, I'd be able to legally carry this. I got this more as a novelty, but I wouldn't mind hanging it up in a display case. But I am absolutely looking forward to carrying my sap. Maybe my claps and baton. My claps and baton is a little bit different. It's not rigid. It's more like a blackjack, but a little bit different. But that's it. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.